Because you know why? He's a Frankenstein's monster. Ugh, he's grotesque.
He's so grotesque.
This is part of the lore now, is that we have Frankenstein monsters fighting in the U.S. Army.
Boy, this is always a challenge.
It's always hunting season.
And then it's always hunting
They're holding
season.
hands.
Why would they be doing that?
Well, I don't think they're exchanging fraternity grips.
I always like to check both hands.
Can you see what they're doing now?
He's holding both her hands.
Grandpa, you know something?
What?
They don't even have any tea on the table.
Hello and welcome to another amazing episode of Munster Hunters, the only podcast that dares to shun millions and potentially billions of hours of original new streaming content that's just being served up on a daily basis. We just say no way, and we revisit a nearly 60-year-old sitcom about a Frankenstein monster and his grotesque family. I am Derek, and I'm a Munster Hunter. Joining me, as he always does, to the left is Keith.
Hello. This is Keith, and I, too, am a Munster Hunter.
And alongside Keith, well, not alongside, but opposite side of the Munster table, it's a giant Frankenstein-headed table, is the Dr. Dre of Kansas. His name is Terry. Terry.
Hello. Yep, I'm a Munster Hunter, and I am actually creating more streaming servers just so I can shun it later.
Oh, my God. You're creating new streaming content so you can shun it?
That's right, yep.
Oh, my God.
The more I
What do
can
you got in the
shun,
pipeline?
the more satisfied I feel. Right now I'm working on the Munsters 2. It's a sequel to the classic Munsters series, but don't bother watching that because we're just going to shun it. So.
Oh,
And is that TOO?
Yeah. It's about a family that lives next, like maybe a few blocks down from the Munsters, and they just kind of do their own thing. So
maybe a few blocks down from the Munsters.
It's a little ambiguous. I like it to,
Yeah, I like that. We're the Munsters too.
But somehow, oh yeah, but that's just their last name.
They just get the wrong mail all the time. It gets all mixed up and stuff.
And for some reason, at least one of the actual Munsters passes through a scene at some point in time. Like they have some sort of weird interaction, and it stars Beverly Owen at this point.
Yes.
I would.
Yep. Well, the season,
well, not current, brand new, but like if this would happen back in the day, then that's what it would be awesome. That'd be great.
Sure.
The grand arc is going to be, it's just a normal family. Every episode's just kind of classic, fun day-to-day life. And then at the very end, you've been waiting for it. Finally, Herman Munster shows up at the end, and he scares them all to death, and they all freak out, and they run up trees and fall out with heart attacks or whatnot. You know how it goes.
Are they all kooky, normal, but have like one kooky niece who lives with them?
Nope. That's totally normal. Totally happy family. Yeah. Until, then Herman, he's maybe like they're having like Thanksgiving dinner or something, and Herman comes rolling by, and that ends everything. And then I kind of just cut to black, very ambiguous. Will there be more? Will there not? Who cares? Because I'm shunning it.
You're shunning it. Yeah. You're
By the way,
creating it and shunning.
I'm not shunning this. I love this idea that like just once an episode somebody shows up, but then the final episode is when Herman does show up, and everything goes, or things go wacky whenever like Herman passes by, but they never see him, so they're like, why did that cat just fly that way, or why did that toupee float over to somebody else's head, and they have no clue why, but in the background we see Herman just walk by and weird things happen. That'd be great.
Why is the street light totally destroyed? It could be that would be like, and then you could watch them side by side with the original Munsters, and like you could like see it from different perspectives.
Well, Terry, you may have come up with the one streaming service I won't shun. It's only got one show, but
it's too compelling. Well, all right. Cut it.
Yeah, Terry, you screwed up. You made a worthy successor to the Munsters. And speaking of worthy successors to the Munsters, let's take 2 minutes and quickly talk about the teaser trailer that Rob Zombie released.
Yes,
I didn't tell you guys we were going to do this, but since we're there, we might as well do it.
Yeah, why not?
So this last week, Rob Zombie releases a teaser trailer for The Munsters, the movie coming out 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And it features a modestly faithful recreation of the second season's opening.
Spoilers for Terry.
Yeah, spoilers for Terry. But well, there's no Eddie or Marilyn in the trailer.
Because they haven't actually fully released any images of those two yet.
No. And there's a chance they may not even be in the movie.
I doubt that.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I think there's a chance they won't be. And then so they do that opening, and then they go, "Oh, wait, they're in color." So then they show them in color.
Yep.
Which is a mistake in my opinion. And then Grandpa goes, "So now what?" And then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What'd y'all think?
Well, I agree with the putting them in color at all, like trailer or movie, mistake. I don't think they should. So. I think it should be all black and white.
Agreed.
Grandpa looks very cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're redoing of him. Lily, I'm kind of whatever. I think Herman's eyes look really weird. Like like they paint, like, you know, when he kisses Lily at the beginning of these episodes and his eyes go goofy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want him to look like all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. The Herman makeup looks crazy off to me.
Yeah.
Like it almost looks lopsided. I don't know.
Unless he's just doing like, because I think, you know, we chatted a bit, you know, back and forth on, you know, on Messenger and stuff. Like you said it looked like it was very like a rough cut of things. So maybe there's some other CGI type stuff that they could do still and fix with his face. Maybe, I don't know.
I just think the colors don't look right. Like it doesn't look like it's gone through post. It looks like it's just was filmed on a phone or something.
It may have been.
It was. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Herman, like, it looked fine, I guess, but I was really hammering on this Herman. I don't know. It feels like, to me, I didn't like the way his mannerisms were. Who knows? I guess I didn't realize it was based off the season 2 intro, so maybe that's exactly how Herman acts too.
They try to stick pretty close to how he, like, at least him walking through, and then like Lily coming out and like looking both ways a little bit, and Grandpa getting, you know, the shovel the wrong way. That's pretty right, because I went and looked it up afterwards. It seems pretty spot on with that, but yeah, he does look like something's very off with him.
Yeah,
it feels like to me, and like this is kind of crossing my mind because I was complaining about this to some friends too. I was like, Herman, it seems like he's an impersonator. He doesn't feel like the real deal. He looks like he did a good job at first, but then he kind of starts making really like off faces that don't match what I would think he would make. I don't know. I was really diving into it, and then one of my friends was like, you're really hard judging this guy for like a 2-second trailer. I was like, you know what? That's fair.
Did they also say, man, Terry, you know a lot about the Munsters?
I didn't care so much about the Munsters.
When he said that, my mind was like, whoa, you know what? Am I a Munsters fan? I guess I am.
That's it. We figured it out. We are now all officially Munsters fans because we're upset about various things in the trailer for a movie that prior to doing this podcast, we probably had no intention of even thinking about.
Well, you know what's wild? Like, as a kid, I would have considered myself a Munsters fan. Right? Because I watched the Munsters and more than the Addams Family. But I didn't like religiously follow the Munsters after, because there's been so many like remakes and reboots and movies and stuff I didn't even know and or care. And then we decided to do this goddamn podcast. And now it's like it's that old letting sleeping dogs lie situation, right? Things of your youth that you enjoyed, you're just going to spoil them for yourself. And like, there's moments that I like, but man, I don't say I had high hopes for the movie, but I thought like there's a chance for it to be good, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. And just make a good movie, Munsters, whatever. But it seems like they're just all impersonating the Munsters, like Fred Gwynn and Yvonne DiCarlo and Al Lewis, right? They're just doing weird impersonations, which I don't know. Is that good or bad?
That's what's weird. Yeah, it's because, well, and I think it'll be better when we actually get a full trailer and get to see them talk and stuff. Because the only person we hear talk even is Grandpa, and I feel like he's kind of doing his own thing. Even he's got a mustache now. He looks pretty different, I think, which is nice. But
yeah, and he is like, so now what?
Yeah,
it's well, that's not what I expected him to sound like.
But
so I wonder if Herman. I'm worried that Herman's going to try to do a Fred Gwynn impersonation. Mm-hmm. And then it'll be just, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
He'll try and do that laugh.
Yeah.
And it won't sound right. Or maybe that he does that laugh perfectly and that's how he got the role.
Yeah, could be.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of anything of how he looks, he nailed the laugh.
He's like the Bill Hader of Munster impersonation.
Yeah.
It's like, here's my Jabba the Hutt. Now here is my Herman Munster. Like, all right.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what it was. So we'll have to wait till another trailer comes out. I mean, we only got 6 months left of this year.
Yeah.
Is it coming out this year? Is it coming out
that's what it said.
Probably Christmas Day. That sounds like the thing.
Boy, if only I could get the Munsters under my tree this year.
Or Thanksgiving. That sounds like another good one. I've
Christmas.
heard that it's going to go streaming on Peacock right away too.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I don't think it's been determined to be anywhere yet. But we'll find out.
Yeah, somebody will tell us. Somebody will let us know.
Somebody will tell us. Somebody will write it down in a book. Speaking of books, we'll have to light a candle, go down the dusty, creaky, dark hallway, open the wrought iron gate.
Did you put up more cobwebs lately?
I fixed my vacuum cleaner to blow out even more crap. So I've been blowing out some crap. Believe it or not. Open the wrought iron gate, go up to the bookshelf, pull out the dusty tome, blow it, open it up, hand it to Keith, for I am the Munsters altar boy. Keith's Munster priest for another Munster Hunters Almanac factoid tidbit sheet flyover. Was that what you said?
Scripture?
Scripture.
The scripture.
Psalm of the week.
Psalm of the week. That's much better. Yeah. So I guess today is from Eddie.
What?
The book of Eddie.
Oh,
Book of Eddie.
I have no idea where you're going.
No.
Today is Eddie.
It's like Herman 316. No.
Herman 316. Oh.
Yeah.
Praise be to Grandpa. Herman. Herman Munster. Giant monster breaks through doors. Marilyn and Lily are up to something. Grandpa is a jerk. Grandpa is a jerk. I think that's how it ends, right?
Yes.
That sounds right.
Man, where'd the incense come from?
Yeah.
All right. So when I'm not hanging out with you guys, I have another show called That Was Great, Wasn't It?
You can't not.
And I watched some old cartoons. So I thought, hey, you know what? I've been researching some other old cartoons, and I stumbled upon a thing called the Mini-Munsters.
The Mini-Munsters?
Yes. The Mini-Munsters was an animated 1-hour telefilm. Aired as part of ABC's Saturday Superstar movie in 1973. It was based on the characters from the Munsters. Only Al Lewis lent his voice to the special.
Was it like Muppet Babies, but Munsters?
No, I think
Munster
it's just because it was animated, they called it the Mini-Munsters because the plot sounds very much like something we might actually run into as far as I'm concerned. But some gangsters are asking for directions to an oil refinery. Herman gives them directions. And then we see the company's president bound and gagged in the back of a car. A messenger bat arrives from Transylvania. Tell the Munsters, inform that their cousins Igor and Lucretia are on their way to visit them. Eddie is not happy about it. Wants nothing to do with his cousins at first. Think they're younger, but they all like playing rock music and they form a band. Herman is annoyed. Oh, the Mini-Munsters must be the name of the band. Herman's annoyed by the music the Mini-Munsters play, so they offer to play their music at school. Herman promised to buy Eddie a car. They get him a used hearse. He asks if there's enough in the back of the room for hearse or instruments. Herman stretches out and back and assures him there is. They discover the old hearse is haunted by the funeral director who owned it when he was alive. Grandpa adds an invention that allows the car to run on music when it runs out of gas. The device becomes popular. The gangsters who have taken the oil company president hostage, or they've taken over the gas company at this point, they're infuriated. The gangster boss challenges the Munsters to a race in his sports car. The Munsters win. The faster that Eddie, Lucretia, and Igor play their music, the faster the hearse travels. And they beat the gangster boss in the race at the park in the Grand Prix. The gangsters then manage to capture Spot by tricking the family into leaving their house for an award ceremony, which Herman learns was not real. Gangsters threaten to harm Spot if Grandpa does not destroy his invention. The young Munsters find Spot and thwart their antics. They get Spot back in the end.
Wow.
So it still has Grandpa making an invention.
Yeah.
It's got a car.
A lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah, and it's a car that races based on how fast it goes. But the Mini-Munsters, they are the band.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of them.
And it was created in hopes of developing an animated spin-off of the original Munster series, but it was not picked up as a series at all after that. I
don't understand why.
Yeah. And they put out a shorter half-hour version later on in the 80s.
Yeah, they tried. It's the same one. They just edited it down to half an hour.
Yeah, they took out some silly part. They probably just took out the part where they steal Spot in the end. Because I would imagine once they won the race, they could just call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
So Al Lewis, he was the only person who came back aboard to do any of this stuff.
I do believe Al Lewis was Grandpa Munster all the way up into his death.
Yeah.
You could have done whatever. Like he tried to run for office as Grandpa Al Lewis, right? So
that's right. Yeah.
He would have done Grandpa for anything, for anybody. He probably did parties, like kids parties and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I guess.
Dedicated to the role. Yeah.
Yeah. So Richard Long played Herman Munster. Cynthia Adler played Lily Munster. Bobby Diamond played Eddie Munster.
The wrestler. That's Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah. Henry Gibson played Mr. Grundy.
Hank
Gibson. He must be the guy. He's the gasoline, the oil owner.
Yeah.
Oil company owner. But that's the Mini-Munsters. And no, I did not mean for that to come across as a shameless plug. I was just looking for a nice segue into.
It was 100% shameless plug.
It was.
But I really wish it was like Muppet Babies, but Musters. Whatever.
That would be very fun.
Yeah. And maybe the baby Frankenstein can come back. Yeah.
Monster babies.
Make our dreams come true.
Not as good as your religious hymn there, Derek. But it's still catchy.
Straight from Catholic Mass.
Yeah. But that is it. Real short and quick here today. The Mini-Munsters and here you go. Here's your book.
Oh my goodness!
Tome has been closed. We may all rise from the pews.
Yeah, you may be seated because I am assuming everybody was standing during that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or at least on the edge of their seats.
Yep. From now on, we demand our listeners stand every time we do the factoid of the week.
All rise as we go 3 miles out into the international waters.
Yes.
Oh, I thought this would be the part where they're on the edge of their seats.
No. All rise so you can see the dolphins out to the right. Starboard? Is that starboard? The right side? It seems like, to me, starboard sounds right.
That seems
Port
right to me.
Sounds left. I could be
We'll
wrong.
go with that. Yep.
Anyway, we're going out 3 miles deep. 3 miles deep. Wow. Out in international waters.
Further than that.
The water gets a darker blue out here. Because Captain Terry is going to take us down to the depths of hell with a skooma.
Yep, that's right. When I'm not hanging out with you guys, I do a little podcast called Run the Reel where we talk about Movies that are directed by people. And this episode was actually directed by someone as well.
All right. Yep.
Anyways, this movie. Oh wow, oof, I'm getting twisted here. This episode was directed by Joseph Pevney, Herman's rival. By the way, is the episode we're talking about. It was directed by Joseph Pevney. He's got 93 directing credits on IMDb.
This is a new director, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I thought so.
He's got credits from 1950 to 1985. He's gonna do like 10 more episodes of the Munsters after this. But this is his first one. He did a lot of movies in like 1950s to the like early 60s. Like it's crazy how many movies of his movies came out a year. Like 1957 had 4 movies of his out that year.
Wow.
So
wow,
pretty impressive. He did a bunch of TV, of course, after that, as it seems a lot of these Munster directors do. It's kind of their thing. We'll be hearing a lot more about him. Like I said, he's got like 10 more episodes to go. But we talked last week about how Grandpa likes to run away quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that Joseph, he's got an episode of a show called Grandpa Goes to Washington. So, maybe that'll happen. So
an episode of the Munsters?
No, just of some other random show. Yeah, it's not a spin-off of the Munsters, but it's about a professor who has no political experience, but somehow gets elected to the Senate. And there's only one episode, so
okay,
must not have been
too
great.
implausible.
Yeah. But the episode was written by Dick Conway and Royland McLean. Again, we heard about these guys last week. In an episode that we all did not like, I believe, last week was pretty bad. So they've got 13 episodes of the Munsters that they wrote together. I've been kind of looking at Dick Conway's work this time. Oh, and I found a show called Undercover Elephant from 1977. He wrote every single episode, all 13 episodes of the show.
Is this like Undercover Boss, but elephant?
He's like it's about like a elephant who's like in a trench coat and a fedora. He solves mysteries.
So it is Undercover Boss.
Yeah, he goes to zoos and sees how they treat the elephants every week. But he's got a mouse sidekick named Loudmouse the Mouse. The elephant's name is actually literally Undercover, so that's interesting. I think it's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Oh,
so
I wonder if it's. Did you ever see Secret Squirrel back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Secret Squirrel.
Yeah, and what was the
Morocco Mole?
Morocco Mole. Yeah.
The elephant made a cameo in Yogi Bear, so
oh,
fun. Yeah,
well,
a little crossover. Maybe that'd be a good show for you, Keith, if you're looking for. I know you've kind of refused.
Well, I do believe that's another Susan Silo classic.
Oh, is she in it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You got a little connection there. But we got a few guest stars for this episode. We got Chet Stratton as Mr. Haggerty, Erwin Sharon as Lester, and Lee Berger as Ramon. Chet Stratton, he's got 146 acting credits on IMDb. He goes from 1949 to 1972. He's mostly a one-off TV guy. We'll actually see him again. And he gets a recurring role later. It's not the same role he has here, but the next time he shows up, he gets to be the same guy twice.
Whoa!
So, yeah, that's kind of shocking. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that he also was on the Gale Storm show. Oh, Susanna, an episode.
Never heard of it.
He started out doing theater, like a lot of these guest stars seem to do, but he's actually more of a radio guy originally. He did a lot of programs before TV was like a really big thing. He voiced Hop Harrigan for like a radio serial. And Hop Harrigan's like a DC character, I guess. I've never heard of him, but he was kind of a fun adventure guy from World War II, so that's pretty cool.
Fun adventure guy from World War II.
Yeah, he probably teamed up with Herman at one point. But IMDb says that after the acting job started to dry up for him, he ended up driving a furniture delivery truck, and he sold washing machines, and then he even sailed over to Europe in an oil tanker. So he did a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah. We've got Erwin Sharon. He's got 42 acting credits on IMDb. They go from 1956 to 2002. He had a lot of one-off roles as well. He was on the Red Skeleton Hour for 8 episodes. He played a bunch of different roles on that. He is also, in Bewitched. He was in The Lucy Show. He was also in a movie called The Strongest Man in the World as a really, really small part. but the star was actually Kurt Russell, that movie. So that's fun.
He was the strongest man in the world?
Kurt Russell was? Yeah.
It was one of his back in the day when he did a lot of Disney films, like The Robot Wears Tennis Shoes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about a guy who finds some sort of mysterious potion that gives him super strength, and hijinks ensues.
Hijinks.
We talked about Herbie last week, and this guy was also in a Herbie movie. Herbie Rides Again. He played a lawyer, but Herbie's he's not fighting counterfeiters in this movie. He is protecting an old woman and her home from a corrupt developer.
What? Why? When you said old woman, I immediately thought like home. She's getting kicked out of her house. It's very Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. I don't know why that's such a big trope. The old woman's always getting kicked out of her house.
Yeah. And it's up to a sentient Volkswagen bug to save the day.
Gotta take that developer down a notch.
Yep.
But we got Lee Berger. He has 80 credits on IMDb. They go from 1954, 1980. He was a World War II vet who was actually in charge of entertainment services for the troops in North Africa. I don't know what that means exactly, but he was that. He played Abraham Lincoln in an episode of Star Trek. Mm-hmm. And he was also in a movie called Time Trackers. It's about an evil scientist who steals a time machine from a good scientist. And so the good scientist's daughter, a cop, and her secret admirer go back in time to stop whatever he's up to.
So the moral of the story is the only way to stop a bad guy with a time machine is a good guy with a time machine?
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Time machine, fight time machine with time machine.
Mm-hmm.
But the trailer kind of seemed like it was trying to cash in on to Back to the Future. It's like, you've seen Back to the Future. But have you seen
Back to the
past?
Future in the trailer?
Yeah, they do.
Nice.
And at the end of the trailer, it told you how much it cost to order the VHS. Anybody got any guesses about how much this movie was?
$89.99.
$9.99.
Derek wins. He's the closest. It was $79.95 to get the VHS for this.
That's what they used to be back in the day before, like, you could only rent them. If you wanted to buy a movie, it was like $100.
Jeez, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the big threat then. Like, make sure you return your movie on time after a while, or if you kept it too long, then they would threaten to just make you pay for the actual price of it.
Yeah, but that was like the movie theaters. Like, well, if people have VHSs, no one will go to a movie ever again. So they had to. They made them really expensive. Turns out, wasn't true.
Yeah, people still went. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, it also came with a poster, so I guess that kind of helps things a bit.
Oh, that smooths out that $80 price point. $80 in the 80s, man.
For Time Tracker. Yeah.
Man, that'd be like $250 for that movie right now.
Mm-hmm. Dear God. Yeah, that's an investment. You would have to open up like a video rental store to
cover the cost.
Yeah, exactly. Rent it out to everyone else.
So mom and pop rental stores, they only ever had like 1 or 2 copies of a movie, even the big ones, because they were so expensive. And then Blockbuster came out. It's like, now I got 9 million copies of Top Gun. It's like, okay.
And you'll still walk up and down the aisles looking at things that you're not sure what you want.
Yeah.
That's all I got for the skooma this week, so we can slowly rise back to the surface.
Too late. I'm bobbing on the surface.
God. Can somebody else pull the control lever and not just Derek?
Nope.
I turn away.
That's what I do.
Yeah, doctor's appointment tomorrow morning. They're gonna wonder what's up with me.
Yeah, Keith,
skooma.
Why are your eyes exploded? Yeah. Well, I resurfaced from a skooma way too fast.
Your blood seems to be boiling in your veins. Yeah. Oh yeah, I just went in the skooma yesterday.
I was very close to hell.
Yeah. And then I rose way too fast. Oh, so that was Ramon that was in this in the time travel movie?
Lee Berger, yeah, he was Ramon. Yep.
He was Ramon. Nice. All right. Well, when I'm not hanging out with you guys, I just sit here and stare at the wall, wait and hang out with you guys.
Oh, really?
And then, I'll fill it in with watching an episode of the Munsters shortly before I meet with you guys. And this week, I, like you both, watched season 1, episode 15, Herman's Rival. This one aired on December 31st, 1964. It is the last Munsters episode to air in 1964.
And there's no secret hidden holiday plans anywhere.
No secret holidays in this one.
They're not going to celebrate New Year's Eve or anything. No.
Now, when I started this episode, I saw the 7.5 on IMDb, and I'm like, man, that is lofty. But then at the end, I pulled the yoke, and it shot straight up to like a 7.5 for me.
Oh,
I'm sorry, you pulled the yoke?
Yeah, like I was flying a plane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the yoke, the stick, the flying.
Sorry, I was thinking eggs, and I was like, you hate eggs. What are you talking about?
I pulled the yoke, and we've.
There's more than one way to skin a bat. We know that.
Yeah, and see, I was hovering in that 3 range. I don't think I hit 7.5, but I cleared the mountain that I was going to crash into at my 3.
That's good. I'm curious to see what changes your tune.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know? All right. So this one is described as Lily gets a job because she thinks that Herman is bankrupt.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
That is it. And unlike last week, this week we are chock full of Maryland because it's like the prime. Here's the Pat Priest introduction. Marilyn is feeding Kitty, and the cat is drinking some milk, and it's doing it so fast. It's like, I'm like, oh, okay. It's like making noises. It drinks a whole bowl of milk, and Marilyn's like, oh, you got the appetite of a lion. And then, of course, the cat roars like a lion, like it has in every other time it's been in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lily comes running down, and she's so
By the way,
worried.
can I say, I was actually bothered by this opening because this is the perfect opening to have the new Marilyn, because they set it up where you see her from behind, like from behind. It could still be Beverly Owens. She's just talking. You don't really know anything's different. And then they had this like reveal. I was like, man, why wasn't, because this comes before the opener and everything. Why didn't they do this to reveal the new Marilyn as opposed to when she was just like tossed in at the end of last episode? Because somehow it turned out to be Christmas.
I don't know. Well, you're really upset about this. I'm sorry, Keith.
I just thought it was like, I thought this was a really good way to introduce the new Marilyn, and they did that. But I was like, man, but you already showed her the week before, so it didn't have quite the impact anymore.
Yeah, well, okay, so, at the time, though, if you didn't see the original airing, you'd missed it.
I'm assuming this, I'm talking about for people who saw the original airing. You'd be like, God dang it, they showed us.
I know.
We already
Those
know.
People are probably pissed off 50 years ago.
Right into their local
I bet you they haven't got over it. Like, much like Terry complaining about Herman in the trailer, there's some old men like still like they'll yell at people on Twitter about it. I'm
gonna go do that right now.
Yeah.
No, we don't know what I'm talking about.
Like I don't know. I mean, I thought it was fine. I definitely wasn't mad about it.
I just thought like they set it up for like this cool reveal, but I'm like, you guys just showed her at the end of the last episode.
It still was
like,
a cool reveal. Boy.
I was happy that she got her moment finally.
Yeah.
It was a nice introduction where the last one seemed to be like this, like just waste of like, we just figured out who's playing the new Marilyn. Get her in here for the closing scene of Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah. The last episode was kind of just a waste in general.
And the bad jokes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
you are really upset.
Look,
it's okay,
dude. You keep coming up way too fast in this Skooma, dude. I gotta tell you gotta slow down.
It's gonna be okay. So Marilyn's feeding the cat milk, drinks it way fast, growls like a lion. Great.
Audience.
Lily comes running down, and she is worried that the Munsters are ruined. We're ruined as a family because Herman overdrew at the bank. Well, go talk to Herman about it. No, I could never do that. It's too embarrassing. So we'll just go down silently with the ship as it crashes into iceberg and goes down to the depths of hell. I don't understand. Anyway, Lily's really upset, and she's like, this has only happened once before when Grandpa overdrew at the blood bank.
Boom.
Womp, womp. But Herman, he's way too proud to say anything. We're broke, but I don't want to tell you. He doesn't want the family to know they're broke. So Marilyn says, what about Grandpa, the man that's always worried about us making a lot of money? He's well off.
Yeah.
And so I wrote, he is?
Yeah.
Apparently he is.
Yeah, I guess. He's a count, right?
Yeah, he is a count, but he's always quick rich. Maybe that's why he is well off, because he's does so many get rich quick schemes that a couple of them hit.
I assume it's all back in the old country.
He's the Don Dupree. Anyway, he's got infomercials on at night. He's grandpa. But Lily's like, well, you know the old expression, you can't take it with you. Well, he did. Which I was like, okay.
Yeah.
The only trouble was he forgot to bring it back. Oh my goodness. That means Grandpa apparently crossed the plane into the afterlife with his money, was resurrected, but then the money didn't come back because we all know God needs that cash.
Well, how do you think he paid to get back across? I mean,
well, that's what it is. Like maybe the passageway to the afterlife, everything can pass through. Doesn't matter where it is, but only a vampire can cross back over. So I don't know. It's like the Terminator, right? Like there's Grandpa. There's a bubble in the Munsters' backyard. A bunch of lightning. A naked Grandpa on the back.
Ew.
Well, he can't come back. He doesn't have any clothes or money.
That's right. Only flesh can come through the.
I guess only
gates
flesh.
of hell and heaven.
I was thinking was the in Clash of Titans the ferryman that you got to give him like that coin to cross over, but you got to give him all the rest of the money to get back across. That's what Grandpa had to do.
I guess because everybody knows that the guy crossing the river Styx, he needs cash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I enjoyed that line of that he didn't bring it back. I actually enjoyed that line.
I was like, yeah, all right.
It was a little weird, but it was a lot of questions. Like, oh well.
I will say this though, very succinct cold open, because then we go right into the banger right there.
Yeah.
Like we got the whole plot figured out here, or at least the premise.
Mm-hmm.
Herman's broke. We don't know why. Banger. Same new introduction as last week. They didn't correct it to ease Keith's tension. But they left it. Herman still comes out first. That's what it is. Music hasn't changed. We come back. Grandpa and Herman are in the dungeon, and Grandpa is like, his mind is blown because it turns out Herman lent the magical amount of money, $5,000, to Grandpa's son, Lester.
This is a revelation. So there's another
revelation,
another spawn of Grandpa out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And not one that he built. Apparently,
he didn't build him, and he doesn't like him. Holy shit!
Yes,
Grandpa hates his son.
Yes. There's a line later that Grandpa really lets Herman know. He calls him like a bum or something, right? He's a bum.
Yeah.
So Grandpa passes out when Herman confirms.
He's like, yeah. He faints.
Did I hear you wrong?
Yeah. So he has Herman mix up a potion. Put some blue stuff in there, some orange stuff, some green stuff, some Sunny D, whatever, right?
Yep.
Pours all in there, tops it off with the baking soda, which makes it all fizzy, and he drinks it, and then he feels better. He's like, I always feel better after some celery tonic.
Is that what that was?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, and he got a laugh. So the guy running the laugh board thought it was funny. So I'm like, okay. So Herman's worried that Lester would lose the money. You think he'll lose the money? It was for an investment hit. Once again, there's a family member with a sure hit investment that needs $5,000. It's like, Jesus Christ. We're only 15 episodes in. Secret relative needs $5,000 for an investment.
Yeah, this is
okay.
This is crazy. Yeah.
Now, this is the part where like Herman turns. He's like, "Are you telling me that Lester doesn't have good business acumen?"
No, Grandpa goes, he's just a loser. Remember?
But I was really thrown off by Herman using those words.
Acumen?
Also,
yeah,
acumen. I'm like, why is Herman using big words for him?
I don't know.
Well, and shouldn't Herman be kind of wary of like family members loaning money?
He
like,
always is. He is always a skeptic.
Evil twin. Does the same thing happen with that?
Yeah. Now he's just like
Lily gave him money, right? Or somebody gave Charlie, Herman's brother, money.
Yeah. By
the way, if you go to my website here, if you go there, you can get a bottle of celery tonic syrup for half price right now.
I don't know what the fuck celery tonic
It is. It's their take on the classic and largely forgotten soda flavor, which was popular in the New York delicatessens of the 1930s.
Celery flavored soda.
God.
It has a spice of celery seed and ginger, the crispness of cucumber, green apple, and fresh celery that freshens you.
I'd try it.
That sounds weird.
Yeah.
The celery seems like it would ruin it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That also sounds like a kind of like a higher end foo version of it, but Doc Brown celery tonic, according to the company, was the first produced in 1868 in Brooklyn, New York.
Why was that funny then?
I don't know.
Maybe he's mixing all that stuff and they made a celery tonic, and that's what's
Maybe
funny.
he invented it. Is he Doc Brown?
Who knows? I don't know.
He is Doc Brown. He's Grandpa.
You need to.
Well,
to
it's possible. What year did you say that Keith came out?
Oh, I just closed the screen.
Oh,
1868.
1868. So that would have been less than 100 years prior to this episode. So
he definitely.
So he could have been drinking it the whole time.
Yeah. Anyway, Herman's like, you think Lester doesn't have business acumen? Grandpa's like, no, he's a loser. Remember? He promoted the Patriot of the Year for Benedict Arnold. Why would he do that? That's dumb.
Yeah.
He had an advertising slogan. Don't be half safe. Take the Titanic.
That, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so only is funny if you know the Titanic sank, or if he promoted it after the Titanic sank. Because prior to that, the Titanic was supposed to be like the safest ship known to man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, is that a slogan he was using before the Titanic or after? Because
Must
that
be
makes a big
post-Titanic.
difference. Yeah.
I don't know. And then this is where Grandpa's like, my son Lester is a bum.
He says that with spite. That I've never heard Grandpa so angry, and he gets angry a lot. But in this, he means it when he says Lester's a bum.
Very upset. So then we see Lily. She's going to go get a job. Marilyn thinks it's so noble when Uncle Herman is so broke. It's like, Jesus Christ. Instead of just going to Herman and saying, our bank account's empty. What happened? No. Scheme. Plot and scheme. Lily's going to go get another job. And there's an employment agency that she's going out to meet with because they put an ad in the paper. And then she goes out the front door. And the front door looked weird to me. Did it look weird to anybody else? Like the whole episode was lit so brightly.
Oh, huh.
Like,
yeah, that's
it didn't look like the same front door. I don't know.
I just saw there's a lot of wind and all, and she looked very excited about it.
She did do that.
Windy,
Maybe it was just we saw more wall than we usually do. It's like, this doesn't look like the same front door. Anyway, she says, don't tell Herman. Great.
This won't cause any problems later, surely.
Yeah, no. What could possibly go wrong? So then we see Mr. Haggerty. He's running an employment agency, tells the person that's in there, get out. And then in comes Lily. She's next, and he is stunned. He is stunned at her appearance. Because she's so grotesque. She's just got black and white hair and some makeup. Like, I don't get it.
She looks like a normal human being. Yeah, I'm kind of happy that like finally somebody besides Herman like they're freaking out about. But at the same time, Lily really doesn't look that scary.
No.
Like Grandpa, I kind of get. I guess he's just a weird looking man.
Yeah.
But Lily, she seems like pretty normal. Honestly.
Yeah, she's got a bat pendant, a cool dress, black and white hair. I don't know.
Also, I did paying close attention. I could see, I know they did black and white to save money on the budget. They also only had one office that they could rearrange for stuff. That is the same exact office from the Autumn
every other
Crocus
office scene.
Yeah,
You're right,
I'm like including like for that one especially, like the file cabinets are still right behind the door and all this. Like all they ever had to do was change the sign on the front door to whatever the new thing was going to be.
Yep.
Maybe that's what happened. Well, those people probably got arrested or whatnot, and so the new company and the hiring agency.
They moved in.
I like this continuity. There we go.
So Lily's signing up for employment. She's like, I need to use my maiden name so my husband doesn't find out. Fine. What's your maiden name? Dracula.
That's
Holy crap.
Also a shocker.
Yep. And doesn't he say that's a peculiar last name? Oh, back at the old world, homeland, or what did she say?
The old country.
Old country. They're all over the woods.
Yeah.
The woods are full of Draculas.
Yeah. Weird. All right. Age 137. So that means Grandpa's older than 137. So Lily was born in the late 1820s, right? 1827.
Yeah.
So, Grandpa could have definitely invented a celery tonic.
Oh yeah.
Also, when she says Draculas are running all over the woods, as in like her relatives, like other people with the last name Dracula, not just necessarily vampires.
Or just maybe, I don't know. I like to think it's a bunch of Draculas.
Yes.
Yeah, like they're just running around. It's
That brings up the question: is every Dracula a vampire, or is it like the other way? All vampires are Draculas. I don't know.
Oh, that's
this
true.
goes right with your Munsters 2 thing. I want like a family with the last name Dracula that they're not vampires.
They're just normal people.
Yeah.
I bet you there was at one time.
Someone
They
had
live
to
next
pitch that.
next to Terry's Munsters.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's like the last name Hitler. I guarantee it just like died out.
Yeah.
We'll just change our name to something better. Same thing with Dracula.
Yep. We'll be Alucard instead. Yeah.
So she says 137. He's like, no, not your weight, your age. And then she very deadpan says, yes, 137. And Haggerty is shook. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, oh my God. Previous work. During the war, I was an airplane spotter.
Oh my
And he's
God.
like, oh, you sit on the roof with binoculars? No, in a dungeon with a crystal ball. Okay.
Fantastic.
What?
Fantastic. So Herman
Was
is in the war actually fighting, and Lily, that's how come she wasn't upset before, and she was upset when he was going to go to that other little like stag party or whatever it was with his former people, because she was there with him before because she was spotting planes.
spying on him, probably too.
Mhm.
And then,
Yes,
and then
probably.
she said Grandpa flew test patterns for us. And then he's like, he had his own plane? Why would he need a plane just to fly? And this Haggerty's like, oh no, no more. You know, like when people are scrolling through Twitter and they see those robot dogs, and they're like, nope.
He's got like he pulls out his handkerchief. He's like wiping his brow immediately when she says like that she's 137.
Yeah.
Like he's really freaking out, and she's just like not even doing crazy stuff, just saying
he
things
nopes out.
that not.
He's like, he's putting up the cross. He's just like spraying holy water at her. It's like, oh no. But then he gets up. He's like, he doesn't know what to do. Dude walks in, and he goes, "Got to do a job, boss." And I'm not going to say, there's a word in there that is a racist term, and I'm not going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a tea room. We'll say the Romani tea room.
Mhm.
And they need someone to read palms. And then Haggerty's like, faith in humanity restored. Luckily, there's a person right here that's crazy enough that knows how to do stuff. Do you know how to read palms? And he's like, yep, sure do. And like, booyah. We get the finder's fee, and I get this kooky 137-year-old plane spotter out of my office.
Plus the reputation that your company has, that man, somebody was looking for a palm reader, and you were able to fulfill that too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of street cred right there.
Tons of street cred. Like the whole Mockingbird, what's it called?
Lane.
Springs or whatever, will be a buzz from all this.
That's
Cool.
Mhm.
Oh, the new employment agency can even staff a palm reader.
Yep. Well, that seems like that's like the perfect job for Lily. I feel like that fits pretty well if she had to have a job.
It's like, can you read palms? Doesn't everyone? So Lily's got a job. Then we cut to Herman leaving for the parlor early because there's a meeting on how to drum up business. No more waiting around for people to fall over. And yep. So it sounds like the funeral parlor is tired of waiting for people to die, so they're gonna go kill people.
No, I thought they were going to go sell them. You know, like people buy their plots like well in advance.
Oh, that's a little bit better.
And I'm sure, I bet you that was made. Could that have even been like a new thing at that time? Maybe.
Could be. Yeah.
I just assumed they were going to kill people.
Okay, let's stick with that. That sounds better.
Lily is trying to be very positive with Herman. One, because she knows Herman's broke, but doesn't know why. So she's like, every silver cloud has a dark lining.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what you'd expect to say, but that's what they say because they're the Munsters.
100% opposite. just flip-flopped it around. So Lily gets him out the door, and then she rushes to her own job. Marilyn was waiting in the closet for some reason, which feels very unnecessary.
Yeah.
Right?
We've never seen her room. Maybe that's where she lives.
She's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Marilyn wonders if she should quit school and get a job. And Lily's like, no. You'd be surprised at the number of men that will marry a woman for her brains.
Gosh.
So it's like, okay. And besides, Lily's new job, which has been going great, her boss, Ramon, is very happy with her work. I'm like, oh, how's Ramon? He looks a bit like Cary Grant. Poor guy. It's like, okay. Marilyn wonders if Uncle Herman will be upset if he knew Lily was working for a man. It's like,
This is a weird angle.
it must be very 60s, I guess, because right now it's like, all right, working for a man.
Yeah.
Would he hit the
Every night and
ceiling?
day.
And Lily says, no, he doesn't do that anymore. Last time he left a hole in rain ruined the rug.
Yeah. That will happen, I guess.
Yeah, but everything else is just, here's the plan. Herman's gone. I'm going to leave. You start boiling the cauldron. I'll be back before Herman gets back. Perfect plot. That's it. And what could go wrong? Nothing can go wrong.
By the way, this isn't an awful idea and an awful plot because now it's Lily out there in like the world as opposed to like every time Herman's out there. And because she never really seems to leave the home a ton, or at least not without Herman and the family. So she's going to do her own thing. But you've prefaced already that Grandpa has another son.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm supposed to spend the rest of my time wondering what job Lily's getting.
Oh, it doesn't matter because the payoff for all of this to me is chef's kiss. So what are you saying? No, here's the plan. It's very convoluted. I'm gonna do all this stuff unnecessarily. All you do is say, honey, Herman, my husband of at least 100 years. Why is there no money in the bank account? That's all you gotta do. But
Or even just like, hey, I'm getting a job,
Yeah.
Herman's
I think I'm gonna get a job. Get me out of the house.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's already complained before about how he has to go scare up the rent and would like some other help.
Yeah.
This show is constantly about money, and it's always $5,000, and it's always how to make $1 million.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
But Herman, Lily leaves, and Herman comes home from work early because it was awfully quiet at the parlor. Too slow. Can't tell a salesman from the clients. Lily isn't home, and here comes Grandpa, the conniving jackass. Man, that's like this guy just cannot help but get in business.
He's got nothing better to do. I feel like, Grandpa, he is a lonely man. Like, whenever nobody's around with him, he is... He'll notice, because Lily's always been on, she gets to hang around the house with him when Herman's gone. So if she starts disappearing, he's got to know what's going on. He's a nosy. He's in everybody's business. He needs to know.
And by the way, he's like a huge fan favorite, like almost like the most favorite person on the show. Really, like overall.
Really?
And as we're watching it now, like several episodes in a row, we're like, man, Grandpa's an ass. Like,
And this
if things aren't going his way, he's like really a jerk to everybody.
And the part that kills me is Lily's his daughter.
Yep.
Right? But he's like, oh, Herman, I hate to tell you, Lily's stepping out on you. She just goes out every day. Don't know where, don't know why. Always comes back right before you. And Herman's just like, whatever. Maybe she's out shopping or something. And he doesn't care. He's smiling.
Yeah.
He's like, good for her. She's getting out and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Grandpa's like, whoa, in her best clothes and best perfume. And he's leaning into it like real heavy.
Yeah. Why isn't he taking Lily's side on? Like, he is really
Why doesn't he just talk to Lily? Hey, daughter.
Why
I've
doesn't he
known
just
you
look at
for
the crystal
130
ball that we've
years.
seen him do before and he can see where she's going and tell you everything?
No, nothing. None of these things. And he's got the crystal. He can tune the TV into different rooms of the house. So he should have known what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
Maybe the war surplus parts aren't working great right now.
I digress. He's got to be the conniver here.
Yep.
And now Herman, he's worried, right? He's like, oh, I don't know. What should I? But Grandpa's got a plan to check up on Lily. Herman is reluctant. And then he goes, what's the plan? So Grandpa starts detailing. So we'll leave for work and I'll go outside. And then I wonder if this is the first instance of it in sitcoms, but it's the plan trails off into a fade to black, so you don't know the whole plan.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of guess what's going on.
Oh, yeah. Some detective work's about to ensue.
Yeah. Here comes the shenanigans. Lily's leaving for work. She's coming out the front door, walking past the gate, says 1313. She walks by, and there's Grandpa and Herman in the tree.
This is an amazing visual. This is awesome.
It was a great visual, but it's like, why? Why are you in the tree? I don't get that. Anyway, they're in the tree. They watch Lily leave. Herman, and then they cut to Lily's walking down the street. Herman's standing next to a mailbox reading the paper. Mm-hmm. Lily does not see a 7-foot squared-headed man reading a paper right in front of her. She walks right past. And Herman goes, Grandpa, she just walked by. And Grandpa's in the mailbox.
Loved it. Loved all this.
And then he goes, I know, I saw her.
How? You were in the mailbox.
Exactly. I don't know.
Did he bring his crystal ball? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Lily goes into the storefront for the golden earrings. Cary Grant comes out and hangs up a sign. I don't know what it says on the sign. Just a piece of paper. Herman and Grandpa come out of a manhole.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Loving all of this.
See, Herman, your wife just went to that tea room. Doesn't that strike you as strange? Grandpa, once again, look at your wife. She's up to something. Herman goes, it does. She's never been a tea drinker. Lies. She has drank tea we're in episode 15, at least 12 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Or as offered in those other episodes.
Yes.
Would you like some tea? Yeah.
Yes, with lemon or cream. Right? And then she pours a big cup of steaming cream and then puts tea in it. Anyway, Grandpa tells Herman they need to have a talk, so they go back down into the sewer, and then the manhole cover bounces around for some reason because they're talking real loudly.
I thought they were just having trouble putting it back the way they found it. Which...
No, there's just a commotion. They're down there arguing.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. I thought the same thing at first, but then I was like, well, yeah, when Herman gets a little upset and stuff like that, he kind of stops, so it's probably jiggling the manhole cover easily.
I see.
Yeah.
That makes more sense, honestly. Yeah.
So Ramon tells Lily that it's him and his wife. My wife and I are very pleased with how you've been reading palms. And there's a commotion outside. The manhole cover draws all their attention. And Lily goes, I hope there isn't something down there getting ready to explode. Which is womp womp because Herman's on the brink of explosion.
Yep. It's probably just that strange man who lives down there and hangs out with Grandpa. I wouldn't be too worried about it.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all right.
It's all right.
So now Lily is sitting in an empty booth by a window, and Ramon and his wife come over, and then Mrs. Ramon, don't know what her name is, she's an eyebrow actor, and she says, things are a little slow today. I thought maybe if passersby saw you reading my husband's palm, it would strike up some interest. Sure.
Maybe.
I guess, yeah.
Why not?
So Ramon, he's been 20 years in the tea room business, and he's never had his palm read. I wonder if he reached out to employment agencies every time he needs a palm reader.
I don't know. I didn't realize tea and palm reading were so interconnected.
I have no idea. Tea leaves, I guess. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah.
That's true.
I have no
That'd
idea.
be reading tea leaves, not palms.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know what the connection is to a tea room and the mystic arts, but I'm sure there's something.
There is one. There is one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll find out someday.
Yeah. So, but he's been doing this for 20 years. 20 years. I'm like, wow. So then we get to the point where we opened up the show. Grandpa's looking through the window. It's like they're holding hands. And then I think my favorite little gag in the middle here is then it goes from Grandpa's standing on Herman's shoulders, and then Herman's standing on Grandpa's shoulders, which made me laugh. And then Herman's like, I've seen enough. We need to get out of here. Grandpa's like, good enough for me. And he walks away. And then Herman hangs onto the ledge, but then falls. And then it just, boom, the earth shakes.
Mm-hmm.
And Lily and Ramon are like, oh, so maybe something did explode. Turns out Herman fell straight down and drilled himself about 2 feet into the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive, considering he was standing on the shoulders of Grandpa Al Lewis.
Grandpa is stronger than he looks. If
Could
if he
be.
can carry
Absolutely,
that.
yeah.
Because so let's say Grandpa's 5'10", which might be generous, right? So that means Herman's feet are 5 feet 10 inches off the ground. Gravity is 9 meters per second squared. So the force calculated would be the weight of Herman, which is what? What's the mass of Herman? 300 something pounds to kilograms. So we'll call it like a 170 times 2. Like, there's not enough force to drill him 2 feet into the ground, but he did it anyway. So
yeah, Herman has that effect on like the world around him, I guess.
Yeah. So maybe this is another situation
of that, yeah.
where Herman warps reality.
Yep.
It's like maybe he didn't fall into the ground. Maybe the earth wrapped around him as he fell.
I'm going with that. That makes more sense.
So then we cut to Herman writing a letter. And I'm like, oh my God, Herman's leaving Lily. He's writing like a Dear John or something.
Yeah.
Nope, Grandpa's like, no time to write a letter to Dear Abby. I'm like, oh, that's what he was doing?
Like an advice column?
Yeah. There's no time with that tea room Casanova.
That's right.
And Herman's like, I just want Lily to explain the whole story. But I'm not going to ask her. I'm going to just hope she tells me. Marilyn walks in and she is shocked that Uncle Herman's here. And Herman, very incredulous. It's still my house, isn't it? Like, Jesus. He jumps all down Marilyn's throat.
Yep.
Marilyn tells Herman that Uncle Lester called, or Cousin Lester called, and he's anxious to talk to him. And then Herman, I think, actually, I take this back. This might be my favorite middle of the episode gag. It's probably about the Money. Like Marilyn, the college student, can't read.
Yeah. So Herman, not only does he think she's hideous, he thinks she's stupid.
Yes. Very dumb.
Okay, but when she says Cousin Lester, it's still her uncle, right?
Yeah. Well,
but she like says something and then she goes, "Oh, my bad, Cousin Lester."
Yeah. I guess it would be. Huh? Yeah, I wrote down Uncle Lester there, which might be too close to Uncle Fester.
I wonder if they were like poking fun there or something. Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, it is Grandpa's son, which would technically be her either father or uncle.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my God. That could be maybe the mysteries will be revealed, or maybe her father is Lester.
Well, no, because her mom is Lily's sister.
Oh, okay.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, they discussed that in one of the earlier. We covered that one of the earlier episodes.
Oh, okay. Lily comes home and Marilyn comes running up like she's gonna like intercept Lily, but she's like, "Oh, I was so worried I wouldn't beat Herman home. I practically ran." Nah. And it's very sitcom-y. Like, if you're here and I'm there, then what? Yeah. Oh, hello, dear. And this is where Herman just goes, should say, "Where have you been? I saw you. Like, what's this tea shop?" Like, anything, right?
Yeah.
Instead, she comes up, gives Herman a kiss, and Grandpa goes, "Can you spare it?" like all of her kisses now belong to Ramon.
Yeah, Grandpa.
Like, Jesus Christ, Grandpa, this is your daughter.
I know. I don't know why. It's just so weird to me that he's like so like distrustful of Lily. Like, it should be the opposite. I think he should be like sticking up for her.
Yeah. So Herman kind of skirts around the issue. He says, "I don't want to pry, but what were you up to?" "Well, I went downtown shopping." "Yeah, that's the ticket. There's all kinds of stuff down there to catch a girl's eye at this time of year."
And then doesn't Grandpa lean in something like, maybe have some tea while you're out or something?
Yeah, something like that.
He's just constantly prodding.
Yeah, instead of just saying the situation. No. Mm-hmm. So Herman's like, "Anything unusual? Did you do anything different?" It's like, "No, nothing I haven't done every day for the past 2 weeks." Which,
whoops.
Yeah, Herman's like, "Whoa, 2 weeks have gone by of this under my nose in my own house." Grandpa and Herman, they're kind of pissed, right? Lily and Marilyn go to make dinner. And Herman's like, "Well, I'm going to have to go to the tea shop to confront that homewrecker face to face." And then he goes, "I need to warn you, Grandpa, it may lead to bloodshed." And Grandpa's like, oh, it's no time to be looking at the bright side.
Yeah. And then Grandpa looks incredibly excited about this.
Yes!
After that. He's like rubbing his hands together like, yes.
He
yes.
is amped.
Maybe he does. Like, he's like, yeah, Lily would never do that, but he's just wanting to stir up the drama to, like, get some stuff going on. He's been bored lately. He wants to see something go down.
Just super hungry and he wants bloodshed?
Yeah, he doesn't want to go out and just actually, like, hunt down somebody and, and just give it away if there's some vampire bite marks. But if Herman beats the dude, like, with an inch of his life, and then Grandpa, like, it's like, oh, I'll just clean this up. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. So now, because Grandpa's pumped, Herman leaves. Grandpa is like, rubbing his hands together, big grin on his face. Now we get this weird bit. Herman's walking downtown, and he gets to a crosswalk, and I like this. He obeys the "Don't Walk" sign because he follows the law. He's a good citizen.
Yeah.
But he's impatient, right? Like most would be. He sees two cars leave. He's pressing the button to like switch it, but nothing happens. So he keeps pressing it. Until the stoplight starts to smoke, makes that weird UFO noise, spins around. Yeah. The don't walk, they blink, and then it kind of like catches on fire.
Yes.
For
some reason.
Yeah. Once again, Herman's bending reality.
Yeah.
That's all
like, this is not like these machines have eyes and can see like who he's like, who they're letting cross.
And he's just pressing the button that everyone presses. There's no way you can press that button so hard that it does that.
Yeah, he didn't like bop it on the side or something too hard. Yeah, he's just doing a normal press. That's very strange, but it does explode. So, and he's like kind of doing that weird, like he's still trying to follow. Or it's like walk, don't walk. It's switching back and forth.
Yeah, he's out in. And he's like, well, I'll just go. So he goes. Yep.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I love this like darker warped reality that we've made.
Yeah, Herman's like a black hole.
Yep.
Everything just light bends around him.
He's like a weird black hole. He keeps a water gun in the house now because he's done something with a regular gun before. Grandpa wants Herman to get bloodshed so that he can feast without being noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dark undertones to the show, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of dark layers.
Yeah, we're just bubbling up to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
So now we cut back. Marilyn's on the phone with cousin Lester. She calls for Lily. Lily says, I wonder what he wants. I haven't heard from him since the last time he went bankrupt. Lester's calling to say that Herman loaned him $5,000 and a big deal just came through, so he's got the money to pay him back. He's on the way over right now to pay him back. He's going to do it. Here I come. I'm coming with that money. And then Lily pieces it all together. So that's why our bank account is empty. I'm going to go tell Grandpa. Lily stomps on the trap door. I'm busy. Drop everything. Explosion. Smoke. So then we get, to me, this is like the weirdest chunk of this whole episode, which is a very weird episode at times. Lily's explaining everything to Grandpa, so that's why and I got a job. And then Grandpa and Lily are laughing about the mix-up. It's like,
hilarious. Yeah.
What a classic Munster mix-up.
Man, if I was, I thought you'd be mad about this, like being spied on and stuff. But no, she thinks this is hilarious.
Grandpa did not tell her that part.
No.
Oh.
But they're just laughing. They're yucking it up. Like, oh, I can't believe how wacky we are. It's like, oh my goodness. And then Grandpa realizes, his face drops, that Herman's on the way over there to have it out with Ramon. Lily says, I better phone Ramon and warn him. Ramon answers the phone. He's counting money, and he has like a look on his face like, that's right. The phone rings. Lily explains that Herman's on his way. He's like, not to worry. I've handled jealous husbands before. What does he look like? Tall, good-looking, average, typical family.
Yep. Great. Yep. We've heard this before.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Grandpa wonders if everything is okay. Lily says they better go over there to make sure. They tell Marilyn they have to go out and take care of some stuff. When Lester gets here, send him over to the golden earring tier. I'm like, oh no. My first thought, Herman's going to fuck something up. And then that $5,000 is going to have to go to Ramon. like he's gonna break Ramon's face, and like, oh,
yeah.
you need facial reconstruction, the best that 1964 can do. Here's $5,000.
Yep.
That's what I thought was gonna happen. But does it happen? We'll see.
You couldn't have Marilyn just like, hang out with Lester at the house for a little bit. Like, why does it's so
Yep.
weird to be like, send him to this place. We'll definitely be there when by the time he gets here.
Yeah. Don't when Lester gets here, just tell him to hang out for a half hour. We'll be back. No, send him across town to the Golden Earring. He knows where it's at.
Yeah,
he must have Google Maps or something. Because
we'll definitely still be there. No one's going to be in jail, or we wouldn't have left by then. Yeah, we're all just going to be having tea. Like, no, I don't think so.
Yep. So weird, but I like it. So there's this convergence of all the plot lines that are happening.
Yeah.
Right? Herman lent out the money to this mysterious Uncle Lester, or cousin Lester. Lily's got a job. Herman and Grandpa have been snooping on Lily. Lily's been lying. It's all coming to a head at the Golden Earring with Cary Grant Ramon. Herman arrives at the tea shop. The door is locked. He knocks. Ramon goes to open it up. He's like, oh, this must be Lily's husband. Sees Herman through the window, through the blinds, and he gets weak. He's like, oh, I thought he was going to faint.
He's not as cocky as he was before.
No, but he goes, Chihuahua. Which was kind of awesome. I love that moment.
Yeah. That's very weird.
And then he puts a close sign in the door. He's like, nope, closed. So Herman saw Ramon through the window. Ramon saw Herman. And Herman's like, please, sir, I have to talk to you. It's like, I just want to talk. Herman grabs the doorknob, breaks it off, and then crushes it in his bare hand. I'm like, wow. And then he busts in. And he goes, now look here. And Ramon sees him and then faints.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up just sees him and faints, which has happened before. Remember, what was the one guy's wife when Herman...
Oh.
Now, Ramon's golf club didn't wilt, but Ramon did faint. And then Herman's in the same situation. What did I do? So Herman's flustered, and he goes, I must have spoken too harshly, which made me laugh.
He said like 2 words. He was about to go on a rant. And then
please, sir, I need to talk to you. So harsh.
Yeah. And then Herman's like, I got to talk to you. Wake up, old boy. He gets down on his hands and knees and is in his face. And then Grandpa and Lily walk in the back, and that's where I have a clip.
Say, mister. Look, mister.
We're too late. Herman clobbered him.
Mister, I wouldn't have hurt you. But you see, I was a little upset. And you'd be upset, too, if your wife, the loveliest person in the whole world, started falling out of love with you and started chasing after somebody else, you see. Mister? Mister. You're not even listening.
Herman, I'm listening. And believe me, he doesn't mean anything to me. I was just working for him, reading palms.
So she explains it. I was just reading palms. No big deal. NBD.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty intimate to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, a little bit. But
especially when she reads both palms.
She does a little palm gesture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just reading palms. Palms. So Herman explains it all, like we just heard. And then Lily says, whatever. And then Grandpa explains the Lester subplot. And so he's like, but Ramon wakes up, sees them all, and faints again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But there's the moment here where where Herman goes, Lily, and she goes, oh, Herman, baby doll, pussycat. Like, they're going back and forth. They've reconciled. It's all good. Ramon wakes up. He faints. And then the greatest moment in Munsters history through episode 15 occurs.
I like the aspect.
Lester appears. He goes, what's up, sister? Something like that.
Yes. He's got the craziest voice I've
now,
ever heard.
Here's the thing. Lester's a wolf man.
Yes. Full wolf man.
Full-blown Wolf
Man.
wolf head, wolf hands. He's wearing a suit. He's dressed to the nines,
Yeah.
but he's a wolf. And he comes in, "What's up, sister?"
Yeah.
"Or sister dear, I'm here." That's what he says. And it's a family reunion. It's like, "Oh, Lester, oh, Lily, hey, Herman." And even Grandpa's like, "Hey, Lester, Dad." And they're like, even Grandpa is able to like, okay, that's cool.
Well, Lester's excited to see him, even if Grandpa was bashing him earlier.
Grandpa, a bit reluctant,
Yeah.
but he's like, okay. Then
Grandpa gets around too, by the way. There's a giant lady that we saw in one other episode. Like
I don't know. But explains Eddie. It must skip a generation or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Then Ramon wakes up again, and they're all staring at him. But they're positioned in the most hilarious way. I absolutely loved it. They're just lined up, and they're leaning in really hard. They're like, "Oh, there he is, Ramon." And now we have Lily, who Ramon was not upset about. Perfectly fine palm reader.
Yeah.
Grandpa, we probably wouldn't be too upset about. Perfectly fine, weird old man. A Frankenstein's monster and a wolf man.
Yeah.
And Ramon faints again. And I loved it. I absolutely loved this moment. This was the perfect of all the episodes. This is the perfect everything comes to a head in a very funny moment.
That Lester reveal was shocking. I was like,
yes,
wait,
it was.
He's a wolf
I
man?
genuinely
like
laughed out loud.
full-fledged wolf man.
And he's in a suit.
Yes.
He just pulled off a business deal.
So does he look like this all the time? Like,
I
is this
think
just...
so.
Oh, that's
He's
amazing.
a constant wolf.
I love the idea of a wolf.
Well, it
man
is like
just
late
walking
at night though. I mean, they just closed up the restaurant and everything, so maybe
could
that's
be.
just maybe he was fine earlier in the day when he wrapped
Could
up
be
his
a
big
full moon
business
that
deal.
day. I don't know. I do like the idea of just it's a wolf man out on the town.
Yes.
I get you want your whole Lester spinoff now, don't you?
Yeah,
I do.
Like a Teen Wolf situation. That's what I want. I want Lester, like, surfing on cars and, just living his life as a wolf and, like,
Also,
people loving him. That'd be great.
He apparently lives relatively close by because he was
Must.
able to get exactly like he calls up. He's like, it's not like, hey, I finished. I'm gonna fly in. Hey, I finished my deal. I'm gonna bring the money, and he knows where the tea room is at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a local. This is
He knows.
this town. People have had to see this guy walking around. Surely.
Yeah. They had to have. He's out making investments, starting businesses.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone bankrupt several times. The banks know who he is. He's
He's
Lester
making
Munster.
slogans. He's nominating people for Patriot of the Year.
Mhm.
Like he's taking part in the community.
Yeah. And for me, this ranks up there with the robot Frankenstein. It's like on par with that. Except I did not see this coming at all.
No, no.
The robot, I was like, I know what's going to happen next. And it was still great. This, shock and awe.
Also, like, there's no joke at the end, right? He passes out, and that's the end.
Well,
Which,
no,
yeah.
they still come back from the
Yeah, it would have been a good joke if they I had passed out and then that would have been the end. But of course, we do get one.
I'll tell you what. If the last visual of this episode was the four of them standing there in that way they were standing, which is by far one of the greatest things I've ever seen, it would have been perfect.
Yep,
But
that would have been a perfect ending.
I will say this. They come back, and Lily is reading Herman's palm. This line says, "You'll live a long, prosperous life with the woman you love." And Herman, he's like, hoo, he's getting all horny. That's why I wrote here. H-O-R-N-A-Y. He goes, "Don't stop now." And Lily goes, "What, with the fortune telling?" He goes, "No, with the hand holding." Credits! It was the most victorious ending of the Munsters ever. It really was.
Yes,
They
it
didn't
was.
have 95 jokes. They didn't maybe it's this joke, maybe it's this
But they
joke.
still pushed it one too far.
What was
Because
the other joke?
No, just the Ramon
visual.
passing out after seeing the four of them together.
They still had a minute 30 they had to film, right? So they came back for that. But to me, this is the last 3 minutes of this episode is the best this show has ever been.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't think you're wrong. I think it's.
They are
pretty
hitting their
solid.
stride, Derek. They're going to hit their stride.
This has got to be it. If you could take the elements of Tin Can Man and add in this Lester stuff, that would be the perfect Munsters episode.
Maybe
What
we
did you
can make,
guys think?
The
Well,
Derek
also,
cut,
by the way,
so
here's also the thing though. Like, so they show you Lester. Now, how much Lester are we going to see in the future?
Probably none. That's probably it
Oh,
for
don't
Lester.
say that. Oh, I need more Lester.
Yeah, I need more, but there might be a part where they go too far and there's too much Lester. So I hope it's not. I hope he doesn't just start
If they
showing
got
up
to
all
a
the
third
time.
season, that'd been when they brought in Lester full time. I bet.
By the way, from my childhood, do not remember Lester at all.
No.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably a one-time thing. But what'd you guys think of this episode? What was it called? Herman's Rival.
Yeah. Weird title, I will say.
Yeah. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought everything from the Pat Priest kind of like reveal thing at the beginning. I don't know. Herman saying business acumen made me laugh because I'm like, that doesn't sound like a word he would say. And then the whole hijinks of Grandpa and Herman like sitting in the tree, and then the mailbox thing like hiding behind a newspaper. Even if he's staying there holding a newspaper, you would notice it's Herman Munster.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
And especially his wife would notice who walked by.
Mm-hmm.
And then popping up out of the manhole thing and just like the two of their heads both like right there just was killing me the whole time. And then yes, the great reveal at the end of Lester is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, this was pretty solid, I thought, too. It was like, yeah, I was so happy when this Wolfman just pops in, because I don't know what I was expecting from Lester. I kind of almost assumed he wasn't going to even show up. He was just going to be like a phone voice or something.
Mm-hmm.
But when Lester actually appears in full Wolfman get-up, it's amazing. There's some stuff here and there that I didn't really like. I didn't like the whole... I thought Lily might be a little more mad about the spying thing, but she seemed to laugh it off, so I guess good for her, but... I will agree. The ending of this episode is gold. I loved when Herman was also yelling at Ramon to wake up and listen to him while he's like just pouring his heart out.
Yeah.
Damn it, man. I'm trying to tell you how I love my wife because I won't tell her. I got to tell you. So wake up, dude.
So, this is good.
The first 18 minutes of this episode, to me, trash. I was very upset. It's just like, for all those reasons. I'm like, just this. I get that you have to have a plot, but it's almost the same plot as like every other damn episode of this show.
Yeah.
Right? It's all this convoluted nonsense that doesn't need to exist. Just go like, hey, what's up with the bank account? Like, whatever. Like, I don't get it. And there's all the same stuff. It's just like, there's, somebody sneaking out, all of a sudden, it's just all the same. And then, sister dear, I'm here. Oh, Lester. Lester might be, if you follow a sports team and like you're expecting to be good, and then they have a game where they beat somebody they shouldn't beat, and then you're like, well, there it is. That's the turning point for the season. That's what I'm hoping this is for the Munsters. This is Lester coming in and hitting a pinch hit grand slam to win the game has got to be the turning point for this Munsters season.
They pulled off the big trade of Beverly Owens for Pat Priest, and then they called Lester up from the
minors.
Yeah.
He's a scrappy young go-getter. He's an old rookie. He's like 28, career minor leaguer, comes up full Wolfman garb. And hits a home run to win the game.
Yep.
Holy
Tons
shit!
Of charisma. Oh yeah, steals the show as soon as he shows up. Oh man.
Yeah, because
I know, like we've talked about, like that, like a lot of these, like tropes and stuff. These are new things back in when a lot of these monsters, but especially because like you're going on like this kooky family type thing, you would think like, man, we could really go crazy on plots with this.
Yeah.
Because nobody else is doing this. Well, except maybe the Addams family is doing some kooky stuff as well, and they're on, 1 week earlier than us. Also, how far out do you think they record? Like, do they record episodes? Because I'm wondering, like, do they, at some point in time, did they go and they're like, all right, let's go see what the Addams family's been doing, and let's make sure that we're not doing the same exact things they are. Let's throw in some wrinkles and stuff like that to maybe kind of cover off on some of that stuff. I'm just curious how much they looked at the comp. That would be their only competition, I think, at this point. But they can come up with whatever they want.
They can literally do anything.
Yeah.
Yet they always choose to do money problems, weird invention, mistaken identity. It's all. Oh, and then now this is the second surprise relative.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
That has an investment opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, yes. They're all inventors and investment opportunities.
Yep.
And it's
Also-
always $5,000. Always.
Also, there's been other times where Lily is really worried about Herman, like he's going to go to that party, and I know how those parties are. It's worried about ladies there, and she's mentioned things like that before. This episode, at least, they went with a big switcheroo of, man, Lily's out on the town now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's been 2 episodes where Grandpa leaves the house. There's been multiple episodes where Lily is afraid of Herman stepping out on her.
They're spinning a wheel, but somehow the wheel keeps coming up with either invention, Grandpa leaves, infidelity.
Yeah.
They got like 10 things, but it's oddly coming up with the same, like every time they spin, it's, oh, Jesus, this one again. All right.
Maybe the 60s were just such a simpler time and only had like 3 problems that they knew of.
Yeah.
Couldn't imagine of anything else.
$5,000.
People needed money.
Inventions.
Their grandpas were leaving the house. Yep. And infidelity, the 3 big things
the 3
people
big
worried
problems
about.
Of 1964.
My grandpa keeps leaving the house.
What what broke the babysitter?
I'm assuming we're all going to be pretty much in unison on this one. It's Lester.
No,
seeing Lester in that suit at the end. Holy crap!
Yeah, she'd only seen Lester as just in wolf form. She never saw him all dressed up.
Yeah, I mean he's looking like a stylish wolf man at this point.
Yeah, he is. He is a stylish wolf man.
Oh, like also makes me wonder, like when he called and was like, "Hey, I got the money for you." Maybe it wasn't like fully nighttime yet, and so he was just walking over. And by the time he got there, he was in full like Wolfman mode.
Could have been.
Yeah.
But I also like the idea that he's Wolfman 100% of the time. Be great.
I like that too.
I do too.
Also, we know like why they kind of have to keep Eddie locked away, because it's probably what happens to him every night.
He must. Oh, maybe Eddie will turn into 100% Wolfman.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah,
There's
you could have like a fun
puberty or something
puberty
like that.
episode, where he's like, "Your body's changing, Eddie," and he's like turning into this.
Lester's got to come back for that episode then.
Yes.
Yeah.
The after school special one where Lester explains to Eddie about the changes of his body during
noticed
puberty.
Hair in places where you never had hair before.
Yeah,
In the palms
Lester
of my
all over
hands.
my body.
I mean, I'm sitting there worried because my wife, my kids they're going to be 11 and 9 next month, and my wife already has them starting to wear deodorant, but I don't have to worry about them breaking out in full fur everywhere.
Yeah, not yet at least.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a few years.
Yeah.
I think Keith, you might be honest with me. I think she sees Lester, but it doesn't like break her mentally. It breaks her heart. She thinks he's so handsome and amazing. He's so friendly, and I think they might even, have a little fling or something.
Oh boy.
Especially after hearing Herman's like really like, touching like, thing to a passed out Ramon earlier.
So romantic.
Yeah, she's already in the mood for love and then realizes, oh, God damn it, I can't get with Lester because I still have my husband.
I like that though. I think the babysitter was trying to drive home and she got to the intersection and the streetlight was going insane. She's like, stop, go. It's like red, green. She's like, what's going on here? What do I do? Like, I have to clear my head. I'm going to go get some tea. So she pulls over, walks in right after Lester comes in. So she sees the whole family reunion and she didn't know about Lester beforehand. So Lester, this is all new. And so her mind is blown. She's like, I just had the craziest traffic light incident. They're like, hey, babysitter. I can't remember what her name is. And so the original shot was Ramon wakes up and there's the 5 of them there. The babysitter right in the middle. But they're like, well, they're not going to remember who the babysitter is. So this is the one time in Munster's history where they did a second take and they cut the babysitter out.
And that's what breaks her, is she got cut out.
Yeah, you're gonna do a second take, you motherfuckers.
Wait, what do you mean? Is it you want me to get off a frame? What? It's just in case, just to get another version, just in case.
I'm the only one who was never bothered by these people, and this is what you're gonna do to me.
Yeah,
God damn.
I'm like one of the family at this point. Yeah. You're gonna cut me out? It's like, oh no, don't worry. All your other scenes will be in the earlier episodes too. We're just gonna we don't want you. And then she's been methodically cut out of every single episode.
Yes, she has. They've just always been right off camera.
Yeah, they're always just telling her, "Oh no, we're just want an alternate take for this time without you, just to see how the vibe. There's maybe one too many person." She's like, "Oh, fine, I get it. Yeah, they won't cut it all." And then Munsters season 1 comes out, and
she's all excited. She's like, "I'm in from day one."
Yep.
Nope.
Main character.
Yeah, the recurring character.
You should see the crazy stuff they had me do on these episodes.
All right. So that was season 1, episode 15, Herman's Rival. Even though it's not really about the rivalry, it's more about Herman being broke and Lily's deception. It's such a weird, whatever.
Yeah, they could have saved that for something a lot better. Herman's rival being some sort of other a
neighbor across the street that's also a Frankenstein's monster.
Oh yeah.
Herman's rival could have been a better name for Knockwood. Here comes Charlie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what I like this idea though that another family moves in across the street and they have a Frankenstein's monster dad. So him and Herman, they're naturally rivals.
Yeah, I would love that. Would be a good. I would love what are the odds? They look outside. It's like, Herman, are you seeing this? They all look out. There's like some Frankenstein monsters watering
it's not
the
Fred
flowers.
Gwynn doing dual roles. It's just like another guy. I love it. Keith.
Yeah.
Since you already plugged at the beginning of the episode, do you have anything else to plug?
I segued at the beginning of the episode, so now I can easily plug the Pop-Up Filmcast. Go ahead and check that out, folks. We are getting deeper into our summer tour. It's been a fun whirlwind roller coaster ride so far, and it's very enjoyable right now. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. And then if you're also bored, just that was great, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. 2 groans. One for it's very enjoyable right now, and another one for that was great, wasn't it? That you already plugged once. All right, Terry, you haven't plugged anything, so what do you got for us?
No.
He did.
Well, when I'm not hanging out with you guys, I do another show called Run the Reel.
I know. I'm just. I like hearing you get upset about stuff that's. You're so angry about the Pat Priest reveal not being as good as it should have been in the first episode.
It's that skooma. We understand the skooma. It went up too. We all
it went up too fast.
Yeah, we get.
Keith got so angry.
But yeah, Run the Reel. You already heard me talk about it. You can find it. We do movie reviews. Blah blah blah. It's fun.
Sometimes you have other themes, right?
Oh, we do themes. Yeah, we're doing. What are we doing now?
You're doing directors there for a while, right?
We were doing directors. We were doing. I think we're about to move on to another director. Actually, we're doing Akira Kurosawa movies.
Seven Japanese Samurai. Movies. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
Yep, well, we covered that one. I think that's the second one we do. But yeah, that one's been fun because that's a guy. Wow. He's a big deal. So I haven't seen that many of his stuff. So it'll be good. It was fun.
Awesome.
Derek, what are you up to?
Well, I'm gonna as soon as we end this call, I'm going back to staring at the wall until we meet again.
Well,
right.
That's about it for sure. I don't got anything going on. Nothing of any note, at least. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay, cool. We're running long. So now let's see. We have 15 episodes, 15 different dismounts.
Oh, yep.
Let's see if we can do it this time.
Imagination.
Nope.
Ingenuity.
Yeah, it's all wrong.
Ingenuity.
Imagination.
Yeah, it does. It's not the same. Intelligence. They just do not work.
Damn, it's always Munster
season. The Munster Hunters are Derek Glascock, Keith Gawla, and Terry Vickroy. Keith is the host of the Pop-Up Filmcast, and That Was Great, Wasn't It? Both shows can be found wherever you subscribe to podcasts. For more about Keith's shows, you can follow Pop-Up Filmcast on Twitter at Pop-Up Filmcast. And That Was Great, Wasn't It? At How Great Was That? You can also follow Keith on Twitter at KG3030. Terry is one of the hosts of Run the Reel. It's a movie podcast that does deep dives on films with a theme. You can follow Run the Reel on Twitter at Run the Reel. You can also follow Terry on Twitter at Terry_Vickroy. If you would like more musings from me, you can follow on Twitter at Derek the number 9 and the word 9. Follow Munster Hunters on Twitter at Munster Hunters and subscribe on your podcatcher of choice for more Munster Hunter fun. Munster Hunters is mixed and edited by me, Derek. All original music is composed and mixed by Terry Vickroy, and executive producers are me and Keith Gawla. The Munster Hunters is a Krispy Dodo production.